Aloha and welcome to Aquarian Radio at aquarianradio.com. I am your host, Janet Care Lesson, with my co-host, Dr. Sasha Lesson. This is an episode of Planetary Oligarchy, and the title of this show is How the Crown Rules the World. This episode is based on an article by Mark Owen in truthcontrol.com, an article in truthcontrol.com.
There are two crowns in England. One's Queen Elizabeth II's, and she's real rich, but she's largely ceremonial. Her purpose is to get attention away from the other crown. It's the other crown that tells her what to do. They control the English Parliament. This other crown is 12 banks that's headed by the Bank of England and the House of Rothschild. They rule the world from a 677-acre independent sovereign state known as the City of London, or simply the City.
The city is not a part of England, just as Washington, D.C. is not a part of the USA. The city is referred to as the wealthiest square mile on Earth, and it is presided over by a Lord Mayor who is appointed annually. When the Queen wishes to conduct business within a city, she is met by the Lord Mayor at the Temple Bar, where she requests permission to enter this private sovereign state. She then proceeds into the city, walking several paces behind the mayor.
The Queen entourage may not be wearing anything other than their service uniforms. In the 19th century, 90% of the world's trade, 90%, was carried out by British ships controlled by this crown. The other 10% of ships had to pay commissions to the crown simply for the privilege of using the oceans.
The Crown reaped billions in profits while operating under the protection of the British Armed Forces. This was not British commerce or British wealth, but the Crown's commerce and the Crown's wealth. As of 1850, author Frederick Morton estimated the Rothschild fortune to be in excess of $10 billion. Today, the combined wealth of the banking dynasties is $300 trillion. Today, the bonded indebtedness of the world is held by the Crown.
This Temple Bar is the juristic arm of this crown. The Temple Bar has an exclusive monopoly on global legal fraud. Through their bar association franchises, the Temple Bar is comprised of 4 Inns of Court. They are the Middle Temple, the Inner Temple, Lincoln's Inn, and Gray's Inn. The entry points to these closed secret society is only to be found when one is called to their bar. The bar attorneys in the United States owe their allegiance and pledge their oaths to this crown. All bar associations throughout the world have signed their franchises of this International Bar Association, which is located at the Inns of Court of the Crown Temple.
The Inner Temple holds the legal system franchise by license that bleeds Canada and Great Britain, while the Middle Temple has license to steal from America. To have the Declaration of Independence recognized internationally, Middle Temple King George III agreed in the Treaty of Paris of 1783 to establish the legal crown entity of the incorporated United States, referred to internally as the Crown Temple States, the Colonies States, spelled with a capital S, denoting a legal entity of the Crown.
At least 5 Templar bar attorneys under solemn oath to the Crown signed the American Declaration of Independence. This means that both parties were agents of this same crown. There is no lawful effect when a party signs as both the first and second parties. The declaration was simply an internal memo circulating among private members of this crown. Now, most Americans believe that they own their land, but they have really just purchased real estate by contract. Upon fulfillment of the contract, control of the land is transferred by something called warranty deed. The warranty deed is only a color of title. Color of title is a semblance or appearance of title, not the title. The warranty deed cannot stand against the land patent.
The Crown was granted land patents in North America by the King of England. Colonials rebelled at the usurious crown taxes, and thus the Declaration of Independence was created to pacify the populace. Another rule used to hoodwink natural persons is by enfranchisement. Those cards in your wallet bearing your name spelled in all capital letters means that you have been enfranchised and have a status of a corporation. A juristic personality has been created, and you have entered into multivariate agreements that place you in an equity relationship with the Crown.
Okay, these invisible contracts, you got them. They include birth certificate, citizen records, employment agreements, driver's license, and bank accounts. These contracts don't, nor have they ever, stated in writing in order to be enforceable by American judges. If it is written down, it's merely a written statement of the contract. So tax protesters and the coming draft resistors trying to renounce the parts of those contracts that they now disagree with will not profit by resorting to tort law, fairness arguments as justification, because the judges will reject these lines of defense as they have no bearing on contract.
But the Crown views failure to reciprocate in any of these equity attachments as an act of defilement and will proceed against us with all due prejudice. For a person to escape the tentacles of the Crown octopus, a thoroughgoing study of American jurisprudence is required. One would have to be deemed a stranger to the public trust, forfeit all enfranchisement benefits, and close all bank accounts, among other things.
Citizenship would have to be made null. You wouldn't have it. You wouldn't be a citizen anymore. You instead would be a denizen, is what Owen says. And if there are any persons who've passed through this fire, I'd appreciate hearing from them. I really don't get what he's saying is the solution.
Anyway, that was we found this article, and we wanted to bring this information to you.
You know, if somebody understands this better than me, send me a note, because it's really confusing.
It's really complicated, but we would like to know, because I think this is the key to our enslavement, and that's what we're dealing with this planetary oligarchy and this whole series of planetary oligarchy, is how we are corporate economic slave.
Yeah, I think basically
slaves.
It's saying that debt is manipulated to keep us slaving.
Right, and we are a corporation, and so that's why everything's in capital letters. And so I think his resolution was, if you closed all your bank accounts, you don't play the game. Nullity. You don't play the game. You close all your bank accounts. If you are challenged, I think your citizen. You would have to make your citizenship null and forfeit.
How do you fly in an airplane without using a credit card?
I think there's things out there like planetary citizens or whatever, but citizen of a country, I don't know. Anyway, there's smarter people than we are out there. If you could write to us at Aquarian Radio at gmail.com, Aquarian, Aquarian, Radio, RADIO, Aquarian Radio at gmail.com.
And we'd love to interview somebody that understands this stuff and can explain it so that an intelligent 12-year-old, that's about my level of intelligence, can understand it.
Well, this Mark Owen, I tried to find Mark. I didn't mean to plagiar you. I really would like to talk to you about this. It's a wonderful article, but your email that is listed on the article is bouncing back. So I don't know what happened there, but it is not working.
IRS.
So, who knows? So anyway, this has been a brief episode of Planetary Oligarchy, a part of the Aquarian Radio Network on aquarianradio.com. And I have been your host, Janet Carol-Lesson, with my co-host, or I am still your host, Janet Carol-Lesson. And
Sasha Lesson.
Who are you?
She's the host and I'm the ghost.
Okay, love and blessings and aloha.